This is your news source evening bulletin for today, Monday, the 11th day of October in the year 2021. I'm Gordon Mosley. Here's what we're tracking tonight. A 34-year-old man from Grove on the east bank of the Marara was shot dead by the police early this morning, with the police claiming that its ranks were returning fire. The dead man has been identified as Kevin Andres. According to a police report, ranks on a mobile patrol received a report via radio communications about a vehicle bearing registration number PVV 5380 carrying items that were suspected to have been stolen. The police statement said the vehicle was seen in the Diamond area just before 3 a.m. and as it was being pursued by the police patrol, the driver sped away into an access street at Golden Grove on the east bank of the Marara. The police said two men exited the vehicle, with one of them opening fire on the police. The police ranks returned fire, according to the statement, hitting Kevin Andres, while the other man, who has not been identified, ran from the scene, according to the police report. Andres was taken to the Diamond Hospital where he was pronounced dead. The police did not find any gun at the scene, but said a single .32 spent shell was discovered. The car has also been taken into police custody, and an investigation is underway into the latest police shooting death. Earlier today, some residents of Grove blocked the main road through the community briefly in protest of the shooting death. The family of the dead man say they have serious questions about the police version of the events.
The one police we spoke to said that they were trailing him from in town in another fellow. They had stolen articles in the vehicle, and by the time they meet Diamond, the other patrol from town called Diamond Police and they came out. There's one report. So far, when we reach the station, it's a different report that they robbed somebody and they were following them. So that's what we got so far. When we go back again, they said they can't tell us anything about what transpired.
We are getting tired of this. We can't take this no more. If a man is wrong and he have done something wrong and you hold him, for what I see, they got handcuffed from me nephew hand. They're supposed to carry in and let the man go through a process. The court, now they said that he robbed and he had TV and flat screen TV in the car. They shoot back at the car ain't got no marks or nothing, only he got a bullet in his side. We don't understand what's going on. They got to tell me something, we tired of it. Stop blaming people wrongfully, buddy. We understand when you're wrong, you got to go through your process. But don't give me them kind of thing that we can't handle it all the time. We tired to be getting sick. We need change from out of this kind of thing where we going through.
Yes, I want to know what happened. Make the shoot my son. I need justice.
There are two other police shooting deaths that are currently still under investigation. More news coming up in a moment.
It's been a long time coming. Overdue, some might say. But now that it's here, it will change life forever. And it is here to stay. The future is now. Transforming Guyana into the 21st century. Introducing GTT Fiber. Experience internet connectivity like never before. Speeds you deserve at prices you can afford from a name you can trust. Sign up today. GTT Fiber is here. GTT. Together, we rise faster.
It's one of your biggest goals, getting your own home, where memories are made, where happiness lives. You may feel that home ownership or renovation is beyond your reach, but we at Republic want you to know that there's always a way. Ask us about our suite of mortgages. Let's help make your housing wishes come true. Or advise on how the equity in your existing home can finance other dreams and goals. Call or go online to learn more.
Turn up the whole place. This is not that have a smile on everyone's face. Ole, got the flavor lock. Ole's got it, yes, this is fun favorite snack. Ole, turn up the flavor now. Ole, turn up the taste, that's good so wow. Ole's got it anyhow. Ole, turn up the flavor now. Sunshine snacks, Ole, turn up the flavor.
Give me one dembe for my whole family. Their bread is tasty. Them big, big,
Baked with with love and passion by our dedicated team of fine bakers, we give you Dembake. With the same great quality you're used to, we now have a slightly new look. Here in Land of Canaan, we are ready to give you even more. Don't wait until you're hungry. Reach for a slice of Dembake. Dembake, healthy, wholesome living.
Mobile Delvac and all other mobile lubricants are distributed by Salt Guyana Inc. Mobile Delvac and all other mobile lubricants are distributed by Salt Guyana Inc.
Alana! Oh my gosh, it's so great to see you.
You must have heard. That's why you're here at GPL. The great news, GPL's 22 for 22.
I absolutely did hear. They're giving away supermarket vouchers worth $25,000 to 22 customers.
Isn't it just awesome how GPL is giving back to the community, though?
For sure. But you know what you need to do? You need to ensure your account is completely settled, while prepaid customers need to purchase credit during the promo period and make sure that you ask for that coupon. Nobody's left out.
GPL's 22 for 22. Promotions run October 1 through October 15th.
We've got exciting news! All 12-ounce yellow cab Buster are now only $100. Buster, live in
Come
full
get
color.
your Buster, Buster $100. Come get your Buster, Buster $100.
Let GBTI make your dreams of owning a home a reality. Buy or build your home with us. Let us help you to completely outfit your home and make it move-in ready. Need to purchase land? We finance that too. Benefit from our 10% down payment and interest rates as low as 4.25%. Calculated on the reducing balance with up to 30 years to repay. Switch your mortgage to us and learn about benefiting from the equity in your home. Invest wisely. Apply online or call your branch to schedule an appointment. GBTI, we see Guyana through your eyes.
Welcome back. The electoral fraud case stemming from allegations of fraud at last year's elections has been adjourned to the 17th of December. During a hearing today before the Chief Magistrate, the prosecutor Darshan Ramdani turned over the statements of poll and statements of recount along with other pieces of evidence to the court so that those items could be perused by the attorneys for the defendants in the matter. The prosecutor initially raised some concern about the safety of the documents, expressing fears of tampering. However, the Chief Magistrate assured that the clerk of the courts will be in charge of the documents. While the matter was being heard this morning, a canter truck with box loads of the documents was parked just outside the court's compound. The documents involve thousands of copies of official election documents. Chairman of the People's National Congress Reform, Valda Lawrence, along with party activist Carol Joseph Smith, former GCOM returning officer Clement Mingo, and 4 GCOM staffers are before the court, accused of electoral fraud. They have repeatedly declared their innocence. It is expected that by the next time the matter is called, the defense will be in receipt of all the evidence to be presented in the court during trial. The matter is being heard summarily. Following the 2020 elections, allegations of fraud surfaced after some of the results being announced for Region 4 did not match results that some of the participating parties had in their possession. The claims of fraud led to a recount that took several weeks, and the court eventually ruled that a recount will be used to declare the winner of the elections. The vote numbers during the recount differed from some of the vote numbers during the original count, especially in the Region 4 area. There were also a number of other discrepancies that were uncovered during the recount. Over the past week, there has been a slight reduction in the number of positive COVID-19 cases being recorded in Region 4. For several weeks, Region 4 has been recording an average of over 2,000 cases per week. Last week, that average went down by 300. There are still positive COVID-19 cases in all the wards of Georgetown, with Sophia and Kitty having the highest number of active cases.
Again, in all the wards of Georgetown, we have seen cases, but we have seen more cases in Sophia, where we have 76 cases, Kitty with 45, Campbellville with 39, Lodge 37, South Rhineville 35, Albertown, there are 32 cases. West Rhineville, 31 cases. So these are some of the places in the Georgetown area where we have a lot of cases.
On the east bank of the Marara, Diamond and Grove continue to be the hotspot areas, with Diamond leading with over 90 active cases and Grove with 73. Herstelling has 32 active cases, while there are 31 active cases at Sault Lake. There are also 30 active cases in Eccles. On the east coast, Monoripo continued to be the hotspot area with 32 cases, according to the health minister. And Victoria has 31 cases.
In Region 4 on the East Bank, we continue to have cases at Diamond, Grove. Diamond, we have about 90 active cases. Grove, 73 cases. Herstelling, 32. Soesdijk, we have 31 cases. Eccles, 30 cases. So these are areas where we have seen a lot of active cases.
There are over 3,900 active cases of the virus in Guyana. In the past 3 days alone, a total of 17 additional deaths were recorded. The High Court today ruled that the government's amendments to the Fiscal Management and Accountability Act were unconstitutional. Additionally, the court also ruled that the insertion of the constitutional agencies as budget agencies under the Act was also unconstitutional. Earlier this year, the government used its majority in the National Assembly to pass the amendments, ridding the Act of the earlier amendments that were passed under the APNU-AFC government, which allowed more independence in the spending of the constitutional agencies. From the onset, the APNU-AFC opposed the amendments by the government, charging that it was taking away the independence of the constitutional agencies. The government, on the other hand, argued that the amendments that it passed allowed for more oversight. Through Senior Counsel and Opposition Member of Parliament Royce Dilford, the APNU-AFC coalition moved to the courts over the amendments. Opposition Member of Parliament Ganesh Mahipal asked the court for a declaration for the agencies to be allowed to function independently and impartially and away from the control of the executive. He also asked the court to declare that the inclusion of the constitutional agencies as budget agencies under the Fiscal Management and Accountability Act was inconsistent with the independence assured to those agencies under the Constitution. Justice Narish Harnanan agreed with the arguments of Senior Counsel Ford and ruled that the amendments are indeed unconstitutional. Senior Counsel Ford welcomed the decision of the court this afternoon.
I recall when the government brought this bill, the Fiscal Management and Accountability Amendment Act of 2021, to the National Assembly and tabled it. I remember debating it and pointing out very clearly to the National Assembly, to the media and to the public at large that this bill was unconstitutional, as it sought to restrict the independence and hinder and control the independence of the constitutional agencies, whilst at the same time rendering them subject and subjugating them to the will of the executive. The government simply used their majority at that time to pass this bill, and I'm satisfied that our position and my position would have been vindicated.
The opposition, through its attorney, argued before the court that the Fiscal Management and Accountability Act allows for the independence of the constitutional agencies, giving them control over their finances, and that's the way it should remain. Well, when the United States implements its COVID-19 vaccine requirement for all international arriving passengers from November, it will only recognize vaccines approved by the World Health Organization or the U.S. Food and Drug Administration. The Russian-made Sputnik V vaccine, which has been administered to over 175,000 persons in Guyana, is still awaiting WHO approval, and therefore persons administered with that vaccine will not be allowed to travel to the U.S. The Reuters news agency quoted a U.S. Centers for Disease Control official as stating that 6 vaccines are FDA authorized and approved or listed for emergency use by the World Health Organization, and those are the ones meeting the criteria for travel to the U.S. Sputnik V is not on that list. The officials said the airlines have already been informed of the decision, and the U.S. CDC continues to put systems in place to prepare for the new vaccination requirement for travel to the U.S. U.S. The manufacturers of the Sputnik V vaccine are confident that the vaccine will receive WHO approval soon. While it was one of the first vaccines developed, it is still to receive approval by the World Health Organization for emergency use. The U.S. recently also introduced COVID-19 vaccine requirements as part of the medical process for persons seeking permanent visa approvals for the U.S. Only US FDA and WHO approved vaccines are being recognized for that visa process. Earlier this year, a number of international students who traveled to the US to attend universities were forced to get revaccinated with a US approved vaccine, since many of the universities in the US only recognize the US vaccines. But the Pan American Health Organization PAHO recently advised against revaccination with a shot that is different to the one used initially. At a press conference recently, the PAHO chief, Jarbas Barbosa, said they are not recommending getting different vaccines for any reason. The Caribbean Examinations Council, CXC, will be taking over the full management of the National Grade 6 assessment exams in Guyana, including review of the exams. CXC has been involved in setting and marking the exams since 2016, but the decision has now been made to allow the regional examination body to verify and review the examination and its results. In the past few weeks, CXC has been involved in a process of verification to ensure the scores earned by candidates are reflected accurately and fairly in their placement into secondary schools. The Education Ministry has also noted that the standardized scores were also quality checked by CXC. Guyana is set to release the NGSA exam results as well as the CSEC and CAPE results later this week. Guyana joined the rest of the world yesterday in observing World Mental Health Day, and the Ministry of Human Services and Social Security has noted the effects that the coronavirus pandemic continues to have on people's mental health. In a statement, Human Services Minister Dr. Vinay Prasad reminded that mental health determines the state of well-being of everyone and the ability to function optimally, cope with challenges, and make everyday life choices and decisions. She said it is critical that conversations around mental health not remain taboo, and people seeking help to alleviate mental health illnesses not be stigmatized. It was also noted that the COVID-19 pandemic stressors have increased the number of persons seeking treatment for mental health issues. The Ministry of Human Services is urging persons who are struggling with mental health issues to cultivate optimism, described as hopefulness and confidence about the future of the success of something. The Pan American Health Organization has noted that the COVID-19 pandemic has worsened the mental health situation in the Americas, increasing new cases of mental health conditions and worsening pre-existing ones. Retired Assistant Police Commissioner Brian Joseph was arrested on Friday after he was involved in an accident that left a 49-year-old man, Isgar Esau, dead. A police report of the incident said Mr. Joseph was administered a breathalyzer test just after the fatal accident, and there was no trace of alcohol found in his system. The police statement explained that the former Assistant Police Commissioner was driving his motorcar west along the southern side of the Harbor Bridge Road and was in the process of turning north at the junction when the right side of his car collided with the front portion of the motorcycle being driven by Isgar Esau as the motorcyclist was proceeding south along the eastern side of the same road. The motorcyclist fell onto the roadway, and as a result of the collision, he received injuries to his head and body. He was picked up and taken to the Western Marara Hospital, where doctors pronounced him dead on arrival. Mr. Joseph was then taken into custody, where he was served with a notice of intended prosecution. He has since been released on $100,000 station bail. The investigations into the matter are ongoing. Mobile Special and all other mobile lubricants are distributed by Sol Guyana Inc. Mobile Special and all other mobile lubricants are distributed by Sol Guyana Inc.
It's one of your biggest goals, getting your own home, where memories are made, where happiness lives. You may feel that home ownership or renovation is beyond your reach, but we at Republic want you to know that there's always a way. Ask us about our suite of mortgages. Let's help make your housing wishes come true. Or advise on how the equity in your existing home can finance other dreams and goals. Call or go online to learn more.
We've got exciting news! All 12-ounce yellow cab Buster are now only $100. Buster, live in
Come
full
get your
color.
Buster $100. Come get your Buster $100.
We are legions of men standing strong, but never too proud to stoop and help someone. We must send a clear signal to all. Do right, walk in upright ways, knowing that's what being a man is all about. And ever aware that things will only get worse when good men do nothing. Stand strong, be the one to live right.
It's been a long time coming. Overdue, some might say. But now that it's here, it will change life forever. And it is here to stay. The future is now. Transforming Guyana into the 21st century. Introducing GTT Fiber. Experience internet connectivity like never before. Speeds you deserve at prices you can afford from a name you can trust. Sign up today. GTT Fiber is here. GTT. Together, we rise faster.
Fuel it up and drive, super 95 to the. Fuel it up and drive, super 95 to the. Protect your fuel system, boy. High mileage and performance, boy.
Guyoil Super 95 gasoline gives you more reasons to drive and is available at 56 service stations nationwide. For affordable price, high performance, and high mileage, choose Guyoil's Super 95 gasoline.
Fuel it up and drive.
Across the region tonight, Chile's public prosecutor has announced that the office will be reopening an investigation into the sale of a mining project involving the family of President Sebastián Piñera, after new details emerged about the transaction in the Pandora Papers leak. Marta Herrera, the head of the office's anti-corruption unit, said the agency would investigate the possible bribery-related corruption charges, as well as tax violations. The Pandora Papers are a collection of leaked documents that International Consortium of Investigative Journalists say reveal offshore transactions involving global political and business figures. The leak stirred controversy in Chile because it suggested the sale of the property, which involved a firm linked to Piñera's family, was contingent on a favorable regulatory environment. Police in Guatemala have rescued 126 migrants who were abandoned inside a shipping container at the side of the road. They were found at dawn between two towns after locals reported hearing screams inside a trailer. Authorities believe they were abandoned by smugglers who had been paid to take them to the U.S. through Mexico. More than 100 of those discovered are from the crisis-hit nation of Haiti. There were also people from Nepal and Ghana. Speaking after the discovery, a police spokesperson said they heard the cries and the knocking coming from inside the container, and as soon as they opened the doors, they found inside 126 undocumented people. Officers give the migrants first aid before escorting them to a shelter run by the Guatemalan Migration Institute. And finally tonight, international news. The Ethiopian army has launched coordinated attacks on all fronts against forces from the northern Tigray region, the rebels say. They said the government was using artillery, tanks, jets and drones in an attempt to re-invade the region. A senior rebel source said Tigray forces were holding their ground. The Ethiopian government has not confirmed any fighting, and the communication blackout makes independent verification impossible, according to the BBC. A senior member of the Tigray People's Liberation Front said that the government's offensive launched last week was now in full swing. Asked if a ground offensive had been launched, a spokesperson for the Ethiopian Prime Minister said the government had a responsibility to protect its citizens across the country from acts of terrorism, but they offered no other details, according to the BBC. And that's your News Source Evening Bulletin for tonight. I'm Gordon Mosley, reporting and encouraging you to stay safe.